So before moving on to the further question, let's just talk about another concept which is nothing but called as the classification on the basis of the degree of the polynomial. So on the basis of the degree of the polynomial, we can classify the polynomials as a linear polynomial, a quadratic polynomial and a cubic polynomial. So there are three basic type of polynomials which are based on the degree of the polynomials: a linear polynomial, a quadratic polynomial, a cubic polynomial. So let's just discuss one by one all of them. So let us suppose first of all we are talking about the linear polynomial. What is the meaning of a linear polynomial? So the polynomials which are actually of the form in which the highest power of the variable is nothing but 1, they are called as linear. And further, what we can say about the quadratic? For the quadratic, we can say if the highest power of the variable or the degree of the polynomial is nothing but 2, then such type of the polynomials are called as quadratic. And what we can say about the cubic? For the cubic, we can say if the highest power or the degree of the polynomial is 3, then such type of polynomial is nothing but called as cubic. So let us suppose I am writing the definition of each of them one by one. So what is the meaning of the linear polynomial? So any polynomial or the polynomials having degree of the variable as 1 is called a linear polynomial. Is called a linear polynomial. For an instance, or for example, px is equal to ax plus b. Px is equal to ax plus b. Obviously, the highest power of the variable over here is nothing but 1. So this is nothing but a linear polynomial. So let us suppose I am taking another example as qx is equal to x plus of 3. Again, this is nothing but a linear polynomial because the power or the degree of this particular polynomial is nothing but 1. So hence these are called as the linear polynomial. So what is the meaning of a quadratic polynomial? So the quadratic polynomial is the polynomial having degree of the variable as 2 is called a quadratic polynomial. So ऐसे polynomials जिनकी डिग्री जो है वेरिएबल की वो हमारे पास 2 हो जाए, उसे हम क्या बोल देते हैं? Quadratic polynomial. For an instance or for an example, if we'll talk about px is equal to ax square plus of bx plus of c. So this is nothing but called as a quadratic polynomial because the degree of this particular polynomial is obviously 2. So let us suppose we are talking about another example, that is y square or x square. We can say x square plus of 2x plus of 1. Again, the highest power or the degree of this polynomial is nothing but 2. That's why this polynomial is nothing but called as a quadratic polynomial. So the polynomials having degree of the variable as 2 is called as a quadratic polynomial. So I guess the definition of a cubic polynomial is quite obvious, that the polynomials or the polynomial having degree of the variable as 3 is called a cubic polynomial. For an instance, we are talking about, for example, r of x. Let us suppose r of x is equal to ax cube plus of bx square plus of cx plus of d. Obviously, the highest power of the variable over here is nothing but 3, or what we can say, the degree of this particular polynomial is 3. That is why it is called as the cubic polynomial. I hope the classification of the polynomials on the basis of the power or the degree is all clear to you. That the linear polynomial means if the degree of the variable present in the polynomial is 1, it is called as a linear, and if the highest power or the degree is 2, it is called as a quadratic, or if the degree or the highest power is 3 of the variable in the polynomial, then such type of the polynomials are called as cubic polynomials.